In the immense and silent expanse that stretches far beyond our solar system, Voyager 1 has been drifting for nearly 50 years. Launched in 1977 by human hands, it has become the most distant object ever created by humanity, or quiet emissary in the void. All this time, we assumed it was merely transmitting routine data, lifeless, clinical readings from a machine surviving on the edge of failure. But what if that assumption was wrong? Not long ago, Voyager 1 sent back something no one expected, not a stream of garbled data or a mechanical error, but an image, a real picture. It appeared in the middle of an ordinary transmission, buried so deeply in the stream that it initially went unnoticed. Only when a group of curious engineers decided to investigate further did they uncover it. What they found left scientists at NASA speechless, image analysts confused, and astrophysicists deeply uneasy. This was not a photograph of a planet, a star, or any known celestial formation. It was something else entirely, something that should not have been there, and based on what we now know, it may not even be natural. If what Voyager captured is authentic, it suggests we've just opened a new and unforeseen chapter in the exploration of space, one that defies even the wildest fiction. Voyager 1 was never designed to endure this long. When it departed Earth in the late 1970s, its mission was simple: observe Jupiter and Saturn, send back photos and data, and then fade silently into the darkness. But instead of going dark, it continued onward, still functioning, still transmitting, crossing every boundary we once believed marked the edge of our solar system. Despite being powered by obsolete technology with less memory than a modern digital watch and no advanced processors, Voyager 1 kept going. It journeyed past Saturn's rings, past Pluto's orbit, through the heliopause, and into interstellar space. For decades, it floated in silence, beyond sunlight, beyond magnetic influence, beyond the reach of gravity's embrace. Yet, like a fragile message adrift on a vast cosmic ocean, it continued to whisper back to Earth. And then, those whispers began to change, becoming louder, stranger, almost purposeful, because recently, Voyager did something no one had instructed it to do. It turned slightly, deliberately, and captured an image. For years, it was believed that Voyager 1's cameras had been disabled to conserve power. After all, it was an interstellar space, a place of endless night, devoid of objects worth photographing. But that assumption collapsed when engineers received a data packet that included compressed imaging code. At first, it was dismissed as a transmission glitch. But upon closer analysis, it became clear this was not noise, it was visual data. Fragmented, distorted, but undeniably artificial. As the image was painstakingly reconstructed, a silhouette began to emerge. It was angular, defined, glowing faintly in a way that didn't align with any known natural object. No stars shone behind it, no familiar constellations framed its shape. Only blackness, and at the center of that darkness was something geometric, symmetrical, engineered. Scientists worked urgently to verify the coordinates. This was not a camera reflection, it wasn't a glitch. Voyager had physically reoriented itself and pointed its lens towards something in the void. What it captured was unlike anything anyone was prepared to confront. Strangely, this was not the first odd behavior. Before transmitting the image, Voyager 1 had already started behaving abnormally. Its usually predictable telemetry data developed irregularities. Voltage spikes began appearing at consistent intervals, as if some external force was influencing its systems. Timing errors crept into its signals, tiny delays, jumbled sequences, as if the very transmission of time had become unstable. Then came the most bizarre event of all. The spacecraft began executing command sequences that hadn't been used since the 1980s, ancient code buried deep in its memory. No one on Earth had sent these commands. It was as if something had awakened a long-forgotten part of Voyager, causing dormant systems to activate. And once they did, the image appeared. The troubling part isn't just that the probe sent a photo. It's that something may have caused it to do so. Something prompted Voyager to act outside its parameters, and the only evidence of that influence is the image itself. To this day, the full-resolution image remains classified. NASA has not publicly released the unaltered data, and internal sources claim that access is restricted to a small circle of specialists. But based on leaks and expert analysis, here's what's known. The object appears metallic, highly reflective, and suspended in perfect darkness. It emits no heat, no radiation, it casts no shadow. And yet it glows. Its edges are unnaturally precise, its shape is too perfect, too intentional. Some have described it as resembling a cube or a pyramid, but others argue its form is non-Euclidean, impossible to define within the boundaries of three-dimensional space. Algorithms designed to detect patterns in natural imagery revealed something even stranger: fractals, repeating motifs, binary-like symmetry, as if the object was more than a thing. As if it was a message, a form of visual communication encoded in shape and light. And the most unsettling part, the object isn't in front of Voyager. It's behind it, following. After running the image through various spectrum analyzes, infrared, ultraviolet, and radio, NASA's AI-based decryption systems uncovered something even more mysterious. Hidden in the pixel data was a repeating numerical sequence. Initially thought to be compression noise, further inspection showed it to be mathematically consistent. Binary strings emerged, patterns echoing prime numbers and Fibonacci alignments. This wasn't just a picture, it was an encoded signal. Some engineers theorize it's a kind of visual telemetry. Others believe it's a beacon, an object broadcasting its presence in all directions. A few have gone further, suggesting it's not just a message, but a warning. Because something wanted this to be seen, and if Voyager was guided to take that picture, then perhaps we were never truly in control of its path. Around the same time the image was received, Voyager 1's magnetometer picked up a powerful fluctuation in the interstellar magnetic field, unlike anything previously recorded. These weren't chaotic bursts of cosmic energy, but structured pulses, rhythmic, repeating. Their timing matched the moment the image was transmitted, as if something orchestrated both events. When mapped in 3 dimensions, the pulses formed a spiral, a kind of magnetic fingerprint twisting through interstellar plasma. At the center of this spiral was the exact position where Voyager had turned. It was as if something had subtly called to it, redirected its gaze, and left a trace behind. In confidential reports among high-level researchers and cryptographic teams, a single term has begun to appear again and again: structure. But not a natural one, not a planet, asteroid, or rogue object. A manufactured structure, something built, possibly ancient, possibly aware. A retired NASA official, speaking anonymously, described the object as the most precise thing we've ever observed in deep space, the most terrifying. Because it doesn't appear to be moving, it looks like it's waiting. Some scientists speculate the object might be a probe sent by an intelligent species long ago, perhaps before humans even existed. But others suggest a more disturbing idea: that this isn't a visitor at all. That it's not exploring, it's stationed. A gatekeeper embedded on the outskirts of solar systems across the galaxy, watching, recording, guarding. Since that moment, Voyager 1 hasn't sent any more unusual data. No more images, no anomalies, only routine telemetry measured, ordinary. As though that event was intentional, a singular act. Some at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory believe this isn't peace, it's aftermath. That Voyager was permitted to see something and then left to drift, blind once more, but the implications linger, louder than any transmission. If Voyager was shown something deliberately and we were meant to see it, what follows? Was it a message, a test, a signal that something has noticed us? Or was it just the beginning? For nearly half a century, Voyager 1 has been our whisper into the stars, a delicate signal sent across unimaginable distances, filled with human curiosity and quiet hope. Until now, that whisper was one way. But this time, Voyager didn't just whisper into the void, something whispered back, and whatever it was watching.